Hello, welcome. I'm Dr. Paul Dyer. I am going to be doing Bridges Live, and Bridges Live is has had Hope Ann Dyer, my daughter, and Miss Ashley Johnson. We're taking a little break here, but I'm going to be continuing to do the podcast. Now we know that Bridges is about getting you from here to there, and the reason why that is because I like to talk about the applications of how to get us from here to there. And applications also comes with the different ins and outs of the ongoings of what our life is. So, you know, we have a gift of clarity. And then sometimes we can end up having laughter, and laughter can be the nervousness of anxiety. You know, we often don't understand the wave we're on until we get to the crest, right? You know, so when we see things and when we are in situations or circumstances, and the difference is that a circumstance is in the action and the situation is the understanding of the action, because you don't know where you are until after you've been through it. So for many of us, we get confused between what our gifts are. And I think that's what I wanted to talk about, was the gift. It's almost as like life can be a self-guru to teach you the lesson and pass it on down to you. All things are required, or all stories are given for us to learn the lesson. And life itself throws out all kinds of reasons or supposing for us to, or what we're faced to. Now, it could be serious, or it could be something playful. If we can just have that conversation of how things are played out, or how we are being bamboozled by our own obstacles. In the history of Western society, there has been things that happen for many years of what we call philosophy or mythologies. And a lot of things that we derive from, and they either terrify you or they give you faith or hope. And at the same time, they are not all negative, but they're just barriers. I study Buddhism and Zen, and things are considered to be barriers because you can pass through. Not to go over, but to pass through. So, in a way, we can understand that if we understand where our situations are and the crest of our circumstances are, we will have that emotional connection, and then we can understand that either we are on probation. What I mean by probation, so if you understand your gift, are you enhancing your gift, or are you promoting your what you call internship? And in your internship, you're always on this trial. Like, remember when you're at work, you have a 60-day, you have the 60 days with it to see if this is going to work out. Do you feel that way in all of your life all the time? Do you feel that that's the way that you are living your life, is in this probationary period? When in the gift, if you understand your gift, you are more than just a probationary candidate of all glory. You know, we look at ourselves as either getting help, needing help, or offering help. And if you understand the Christian mythology or the Christian belief, the Trinity means family. It means the complete family. From the circulation of family. And it's derived from the Greek language. It's derived from the Trinity of the structure from the Greek languages. So, I mean, sometimes we don't even know where our faith and trust comes from. When we say the sentences in the trust of, I love you, I believe you, I cherish you, when we understand that that is coming from all of universe and all of its possibilities and all of our content of life, we embrace that, and we know now that we're not living in circumstances. We're not living in probation. We are part of this life. We are part of this happiness. Now, the intervals that we go in and out of, and I said this in the beginning of either the circumstances or the situation, is that we either align ourselves with not just our developed energy, but our purposeful intent energies. Our purposeful intent energies are different than what we know them to be. They're different. They're different because there's, again, going back to your life is the guru. You are giving yourself the lessons. You are giving yourselves the product of understanding, of living in a tremendous life, the whole life of existence, the whole life of matrimony, right? You know, when you get married, you're getting married to the other one because you're giving your heart and yourself completely. Well, in the practice, in the development, have you given yourself completely to you? Have you married your complete self? Have you married the wholeness of yourself? There has been so many teachings out here that has given us the opportunity to ask ourselves the question. Ask ourselves, what is the relationship? Ask ourselves how we are able to be strong enough so we can live long enough. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, and that is all. Oscar Wilde said that. And then when Oscar Wilde, who was, those people who took the time to look at life, to study life. We have so much that's on our plates at times. We have so much that gives away to our existence. And we never really look at the chess game as mind over mind. In a mind over mind, and then maybe this sounds contradictory, but our mind wants to control mind instead of having the mind of free. The communication between your mind and the mind of the earth, your mind and the mind of your spirit, your mind and the mind of your soul. How do you follow your own belief if your mind is directing you away from your happiness or divine grace? Can you follow your belief of all of heavens and glory when your mind is pulling you away from what you see happiness can be? Often our mind, and I've been told this myself, and I have been working on this, your mind wants to direct you away from your ego that's causing you to do self-harm and self-pain. Then what is grace? Is grace an acceptance? If your will cannot accept grace, then it is your ego causing your own destruction. It goes back into your gift. Your gift is to allow grace to let it shine upon you. Your love is to allow people to give to you so you can receive. We don't always know what situation we're in until we come through the circumstances. If you have any questions, and I want to do some commercials here, if you want to do questions, you can always go to drpaulholisticscience.com and you can email me through there. These conversations are all important. Buddha says that wisdom only comes from the abandonment of desire. And this is how we can obtain ultimate peace. We're working on that ultimate peace. You know, most people here is like to attain nirvana. But nirvana in Sanskrit word means to blow out. And that's why we breathe. And that's why breathing is so important. But breathing out, it allows for energy to come back. So, if you want life, don't cling to it. Let go. The problem we have is that we desire not to desire, that creates a desire. And there goes, the mind is controlling the mind. So when we're asking ourselves, how do I surrender myself when myself is holding on to something that I want to do to survive? And we can understand that if we hold on to something and we're clinging to something, then it creates a desire, which creates a suffering, and which can lead to suicide, self-destruction. When releasing that, and those Those are those little things that we're falling in and out of. Human beings has been concerned for a long time about transformations. But the transformation comes from an ego state of mind. Or is it the releasing of our desires? I remember asking a question to one of my gurus or my teachers. He says, I asked him, I said, I am so willingness to learn. He goes, why are you so willing to learn something you think you need? And I said, well, because I want to get better at it. And my teacher said, getting better at it is not about you asking, it's about you doing. It's, whew. We have our family situations, we have our children's situations, we have all these situations and circumstances, and they cause us so much of internal sickness from the external action. And then when we fall to our knees and we say, oh, I trust you, dear heavens, I trust you, oh God, I trust you, guide me. You know my will, you know my heart. And then we question it when we walk throughout the day. What am I supposed to be doing today? How am I supposed to be acting today? To love without desire. To have the trinity of the full family. To understand suffering without control. To live with the gift. To not have, but to understand. I hope these talks help you. I hope these conversations help you. I know it helps me. I know it helps me as I write and I study, and I want to share that with us as a loving life and people. Because this is not about a systematic system of what to do and what not to do. Because if we're stumbling and fumbling our way through, and we can help ourselves dropping a little bit of breadcrumbs along the way, I hope these breadcrumbs help. You know, we could all be self-seeking and being afraid of death and afraid of life. And unwilling to cooperate with what's going on, will always stay in suffering. I choose free will. And I love the opportunity to share it. I'm Dr. Paul. You're listening to Dr. Paul on Bridges Live podcast.